hard living this life.
No, it really is. So I just got a text from my wife. She's it's a text to me and her mom. She said, I'm divorcing Jaceel, mom. A blog has accused him of cheating on me. So I'm done. Like, that's what I'm dealing with in real life. Like, in real life, see what it says? Yep, the girl who used to work for him. So this is what I'm really dealing with. And that's I'm going to be as transparent as I could be, because this is what happens when you play like this. You play on people's lives. You play on whatever they may be dealing with, and they have to deal with real circumstances. So this is what I'm dealing with this morning. Yeah.
Yeah, so if anyone thought the situation between Yung Joc and Kendra Robinson had finally settled down, that idea didn't last long. Just when things seemed calm, a new wave of drama came out, and it completely changed the way people were looking at their relationship. A while back, there was already a huge moment that had put their relationship under pressure. While they were preparing for their wedding, Kendra discovered that Joc had a secret child. That revelation wasn't just something small or easy to ignore. It caused a serious breakdown between them and almost stopped the wedding from happening altogether. For most couples, that kind of news would have been the end. But somehow, after all the arguments, emotions, and disappointment, they still decided to move forward. They got married and tried to leave the past behind them. For a short time, it looked like they might...
Well, Jaceel and I have been in this for a real long time. So, and it's a lot of stuff like you guys are seeing this season where, the whole world wasn't privy to, some of the stuff that Jaceel and I was going through, like, or the times we separated or that we were broke up. Even while we were engaged or even while I was still wearing my ring, we had moments where it just was like not happening. But, and things happened during those times when we weren't together.
Actually be able to rebuild trust. They acted like they were focusing on their future instead of the mistakes that had caused problems before. But that peace didn't last very long. Not long after, rumors started spreading again, this time about Kendra possibly being pregnant. At first, people reacted with excitement. Many fans thought this could be a fresh beginning for both of them. After all the stress and public drama, a baby was seen as something that could bring them closer and give them a new start. But the situation quickly became confusing. Instead of a big announcement or shared celebration, there was silence. Joc didn't make any clear public statement, and Kendra also didn't say much about it. That silence made people start asking questions. If everything was fine, why weren't they talking about it openly? Why did it feel like something was being avoided? As time passed, the confusion grew.
Because as a man, guess what? I got to stand on mine too. Because guess what? Let me say something. I didn't go to college. Guess what?
Fine.
I want my kids to go to college. So we can say that right
good.
now. I don't want them to go that direction. I want them to go to college. I can say that with you too.
Right.
But don't sit here in front of the world, in front of a medium, and say, oh, I wouldn't want my son or your sons to be like you. Hold on. No, we got you gonna put some respect on my name. Because at the end of the day, I'm successful. I take care of my kids.
Okay.
Ain't none of my kids out here in dire need of love and support. So we're gonna do that. Okay? Because I don't appreciate that. Because there's some things about you that I could say I wouldn't want my daughters to do.
Go ahead.
I'm not going to do that. I respect you and I love you enough.
I want this magazine to know
No. I
what
respect
it is
the
about
integrity.
Me. You don't want your daughter
I'm not going to do that.
Like,
I'm not going to do that.
Be my guest.
I'm not
going to be slighted, honey.
I'm not going to do that. That's where we have to draw the line.
Close to the situation, or at least those claiming to know what was going on, started noticing changes in Joc's behavior. He didn't seem excited or emotional about the pregnancy news. In fact, he often avoided the topic completely. Whenever it came up, he would either change the subject or respond in a way that made it clear he wasn't comfortable discussing it. At first, some people assumed this was just because of their history. After everything they had already been through, maybe he was being careful or unsure about how to react. But according to ongoing rumors, the truth was something very different and much more serious. Reports began circulating that Joc had started quietly looking into the situation on his own. Instead of relying on conversations or assumptions, he allegedly wanted solid answers. As he dug deeper, things reportedly started not adding up. That is when everything took a sharp turn. According to the rumors, a medical report was eventually leaked, and it suggested that Joc was not the biological father of Kendra's baby. That claim alone was enough to shake people who were following the story.
I don't have to get no explanation to no goddamn body. If you understand, you understand.
Nah,
and
what are you talking about? Like,
that's
how
what it
insensitive
is.
That? You
That's
so goddamn big-headed and arrogant. You around here creating babies all over the globe, dropping them off household to household.
All over the globe? What are you talking about?
To not actually be able to tell my mama, tell my brother, you should answer them.
I would talk to whoever when I'm ready.
After everything Joc had already dealt with in the past regarding trust and relationships, this new development made the situation even more intense. But this time, the story suggested that he might not have been the one responsible for the chaos. To make things even more complicated, the rumors went further by claiming that the actual father was not a stranger. Instead, it was said to be someone Joc knew personally, someone he had trusted before. That detail made the situation feel less like a simple misunderstanding and more like a deep betrayal. When Joc allegedly found out, it wasn't through a private conversation or a careful explanation. Instead, it is said that he learned about everything through public reports and online discussions, just like everyone else. Imagine finding out something so personal about your own life while scrolling through your phone. That shock, according to the story, hit him hard. After seeing the reports, he reportedly went straight to confront Kendra in person. There were no cameras around and no public setting. It was a private and emotional confrontation.
I felt like after we made our vows to move forward, that we won't even bring any of this up.
I didn't bring it up. People bringing it up to me. And then I'm hearing stuff about the Mita lady. I've heard about this lady, Mita, before. Jaceel has mentioned her to me before. The way it was told to me is that it was an old bone out of his old closet. Nothing during the time we were together. So I'm like, what is the deal?
I have not messed with Mita.
This girl standing up talking about she been messing with you consecutively, years broken up apart, but all them years she described was when I was in your life.
Between the two of them. Witnesses claimed that the conversation quickly became intense, with strong emotions on both sides. During that confrontation, Kendra allegedly admitted what was going on, but the situation reportedly became even more complicated when another person became involved. According to the rumors, the man linked to the situation was Kirk Frost. For people familiar with reality television, that name is already well known. He has been part of many public controversies over the years, especially surrounding his marriage to Rashida, which has had its own share of cheating rumors and relationship struggles. The idea that someone from Joc's own circle could be involved made the situation even more shocking. It suggested that this wasn't just a random event or an isolated mistake. Instead, it was being described as a serious breach of trust involving people who all knew each other. From there, the tension reportedly increased even more. Joc and Kirk were said to have had a history of friendship or at least close industry ties, which made the alleged betrayal even harder to accept. What was once trust between friends now seemed to be turning into conflict and disappointment. As the rumors continued to spread, people began debating the entire situation online, trying to understand what was true and what was exaggerated. Some believed the story completely, while others felt there was more to it than what was being shared publicly. Either way, the situation placed all three people at the center of a major controversy. It wasn't just about a relationship anymore. It had turned into a complicated mix of trust issues, personal choices, and public attention that kept growing every day. And as of now, the full truth behind everything is still unclear, leaving people with more questions than answers. Sources say things escalated fast after the confrontation, and Joc allegedly lost control of his emotions. People who claimed to be nearby described a chaotic scene where he was shouting, knocking things over, and reacting in a way that showed just how shocked and hurt he was. According to those same reports, security had to step in before the situation got worse and things turned physical. In contrast, the rumors say Kirk's reaction was completely different. Instead of showing panic or stress, he reportedly acted calm and unbothered, which only added more fuel to the fire. That difference in behavior quickly became one of the most talked about parts of the story. Once the situation made its way onto social media, it spread almost instantly. People across different platforms started reacting, arguing, and forming opinions about what might have really happened. Some users felt sympathy for Joc, saying he looked completely blindsided by everything. Others believed the situation was more complicated and not as one-sided as it appeared. One comment that went viral said that the tables had finally turned on Joc, pointing out that he was usually not the one caught in public drama. Another person mentioned Kirk's name directly, joking that he always seems to end up involved in messy situations, and even bringing Rashida into the conversation because of their long, complicated history. As the discussion grew, the internet began splitting into different sides. Some people viewed Joc as the clear victim, someone who had been betrayed by people he trusted. Others were less certain and pointed out his past relationship issues, suggesting that his history might be affecting how people judge the situation now. There were also viewers who started questioning Kendra's intentions. Some wondered whether her relationship with Joc was built on genuine love or whether he had become part of her rise in the public eye. That idea spread quickly online, even though there was no clear proof behind it. Meanwhile, reports continued to circulate that Joc was considering taking serious action. Some sources claimed he was thinking about divorce proceedings, while others suggested there could be legal steps involving finances or personal disputes. However, nothing was officially confirmed, and most of it remained speculation. At the same time, rumors also claimed that Kirk and Kendra had been seen together after everything came out. According to those claims, they appeared relaxed and unconcerned about the backlash happening online. That only made public reaction even stronger, as people tried to understand how the situation had reached that point. Inside the entertainment world, reactions were mixed. Some of Joc's friends and connections in music and reality TV reportedly supported him, calling the situation a serious betrayal and showing sympathy for what he was going through. Others stayed quiet or suggested that Joc's own past mistakes might be influencing how the public is reacting now. As more people became involved in the conversation, attention shifted again. Fans began digging into older details about Kendra and her past, trying to figure out whether the relationship story they had been watching was as simple as it seemed. Some questioned whether Joc was truly the focus of her loyalty or just part of a larger story involving fame and attention. Then came another layer of drama. According to insiders, Joc was preparing to speak out publicly in a major way. Reports suggested he was considering a tell-all interview where he would share his side of the story and possibly reveal private details involving Kendra, Kirk, and other situations that had not yet been discussed openly. There were also claims that he was gathering information and building some kind of case behind the scenes. Some people believed this could be related to divorce proceedings, while others thought it might involve attempts to protect his reputation or expose what he believed really happened. Still, none of these claims were confirmed, and everything remained based on rumors. In the middle of all this, a few emotional statements reportedly linked to Kendra's perspective began circulating online. In those remarks, she suggested that she had expected their marriage to move forward without old issues resurfacing. She also claimed that she never brought certain things up herself and that many of the rumors were being discussed by other people, not her. She also allegedly mentioned hearing different versions of events regarding Joc's past relationships, saying that she believed certain issues belonged to before their marriage. However, she expressed frustration that new claims were now being connected to their current relationship, making everything more complicated. Those statements only added more confusion to an already messy situation. People online debated whether she was being honest, defensive, or misunderstood. At this point, the biggest question became what Joc would do next. Would he choose to speak publicly and reveal everything he knows, or would he step back and try to move on quietly? No matter which direction he chooses, the situation has already changed how many people see him. Some view him as someone who was deeply betrayed, while others believe the situation is more balanced.